Good morning, Peralta community. Welcome to Flex Day, Fall 2023. My name is Mark Johnson. I'm the Executive Director of Marketing, Communication, and Public Relations at the district, and I'm just thrilled that you all are here at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning preparing for our Fall 2023 semester. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our Interim Chancellor, Dr. Jannett N. She is, well, okay, I usually give a long litany. She's a veteran, she's an experienced community college administrator, and we're really, really lucky to have her. So over to you, Chancellor Jackson.
Thank you, Mark. We're starting just a little bit late, so I'm going to kind of shoot through these slides. When I first came on board my fall 2021 semester, I believe in establishing themes and things that people can rally around. And so I used the back to the future because I felt that at one point, the Peralta Community College District, the district office and the 4 colleges were really doing some major work, working together collaboratively. We had our differences, but all in all, we were working together. And so the theme of let's go back to that time, let's go back to the future. So, and do the things that we know are the things that we should be doing. We just haven't either had the right leadership or there was contention, and there will always be. That is the name of the game, it seems to be all the time. But really working together and going back to the time where we knew, you knew, the staff knew, faculty knew, administrators, and even our board, because when I came on board, the Peralta Community College Board was really the center of why the district and the colleges were put on progress probation by ACCT. And there were also some financial things that we had to address because we were being threatened by the California Community College Chancellor's office putting in place a trustee. And trust me, you don't want to do that. Ask some of our colleagues like Compton, who took 15 years to get out of receivership. So that was not something that we wanted to do. So I wanted to go back to the future and pull back those values, those core values that we all share, and move the district forward because of that. And I think we've had some success. I established some ground rules just because we tend to do these. We know it, listen as an ally rather than listening to try to find a glitch so that you can jump on board. And what I called it was whack-a-mole. Every time you pop your head up, let's hit your head, you go back down and you pop up somewhere else. So I said, let's listen as an ally and look at opportunities to actually join and to make this effective. Recognize and respect people are in different places. Not everybody is going to agree, but let's agree to disagree and attack the issue, not the person. Look for opportunities for conversations so you could join in. I think Marla said earlier, when you go out today at lunchtime, go and talk to people that you don't really know. Just introduce yourself and say, hi, I'm the Chancellor, or I'm Dr. J, or whatever. There's always room for communication. In fact, I met someone this morning who was looking for the Flex Day activity from Merit, and I won't call her name out, but she was saying, where is it? Where's the breakfast? I said the breakfast is over at Lady College. She was at the district office. So you can always meet people. You can always find some commonality between each other, and then be fully present. I know we always look at, multitasking. I'm on Zoom, but I'm also looking at my email. Oh, somebody called me. Let me take that. Oh, somebody text me. Let me listen to that. So I ask you to be fully present when you're in meetings, because as I'm going to say Matt Goldstein said earlier, we have some hard work that's ahead of us this next year. Hold Harmless is going away in 24, 25. And we've been making some progress, which I'll show you, but we still have a long way to go. And then I use the term Ubuntu. In the African culture, Ubuntu is I am because we are. And I told the story about an anthropologist who was in Africa. She fell in love with the village, especially the children. She was getting ready to leave. She put all of her goodies together, put them in a big bag, and told the kids, why don't you guys line up? I'm going to put it over here at this tree. You have to run. And then the first one who gets there gets all of the goodies. And to her amazement, she said, ready, set, go. And they linked arms and they walked up to the tree. And she was like, why didn't you guys run? I thought, you would get, one person would get that. And they said, how can one of us be happy if not all of us are happy? And so that is what this circle of friendship, kinship, Ubuntu, we're in it together, represented. And I hope I carried that forward. And then I threw in a little bit about my military. This was from World War II, where, women kind of came out, as it were, in the workplace because men were going off to war. So yes, we can. And I would say now, yes, we have. We have done a lot. So I'm going to just cover some of those things. So first of all, I am grateful. Thank you all for being here. Those of you that are online, as well as those of you that are here in person. And I think there's something to be said about person-to-person interaction. You can't hug online, you can't shake hands, you can't always see the nuances of individuals. So for those of you that are here in person making that effort, I am absolutely grateful and thankful. I want to thank the faculty. I think there's a misnomer that somehow administration is the enemy, and we are not. In all of our literature that goes out, one of the first things we talk about is our great faculty. It's because of you that students come here. They don't care. They wouldn't recognize me if I walked up to them. Sometimes they don't even know what a chancellor is. So it's not me. It's really those of you that are in the campuses, admissions and records, in the classroom. And so we thank you for that. Some of the things that we've accomplished this year on behalf of faculty, healthcare benefits for part-time faculty is now effective July 1. We think that's going to be about $500,000. We don't know because we have to gather that information from other colleges, determine what our share is, and then parse that out. They're still working on trying to do that. The state has said that they will reimburse us, so it will be free. Fingers crossed, given that the state is in the billions, 38 billion last time I checked, in the hole. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I will tell you, they've already cut some of our deferred maintenance by about $6 million from the 17 million that we got. And that is not just in deferred maintenance, that's also instructional equipment and library resources. So we've already seen that. It was in the budget, the governor's original budget, or then May Revise came out, that changed, and now we have the final budget and those dollars have been taken away. Stipends, converting courses, that was something that we paid out starting in 2021 for faculty to take their classes and put them online up to the 5 classes if so to a maximum of $5,000. And then we just recently, I signed a side letter with the PFT so that the faculty are going to administer professional development, whereas in the past, those funds were really overseen by the district. So those are kind of in review. Classified professionals, first of all, I want to thank all of those that are in the classified ranks. I asked that we change how we reference ourselves to classified professionals because it is a profession. It is not a second tier. It's an equal partner with all of our administrators, with our faculty, and also with our classified professional staff. So thank you for that. I think it makes a difference. Words have power. And so I think when you refer to yourself rather than I'm a classified, which people have started to get away from and say classified professionals, because indeed you are. You are a professional. You have chosen this position to serve as a classified professional. We got a 10% classified professional raises, including 6% COLA and the 4% from the change to a new healthcare. We included a new step 6 in the regular salary range. And one of the things I'm most proud of, because it was something that I heard when I first got here, is the development of a professional development learning center. What I heard when I did my listening sessions in 2021 is, we do everything for the faculty. There's nothing for classified. And I say that intentionally because people weren't saying classified professionals in 2021. And I said, well, let's work on that. Let's see if we can do something. So we're going to talk about that, but it was launched in February of this year. And the end of March, they had served over 720 individuals had gone through, primarily classified professionals. And the link is there for you to find out more about it if you don't. And they're going to be doing onboarding as well as onboarding for students. They're going to have additional courses in professional development based upon the feedback that they got. And this is under the auspices of Human Resources. Immaculate Adelante is a point of contact. Administrators, sometimes you always get left out, your last ones that we thank. But trust me, I could not have done the things that I've done and that we've done together without your assistance. So to the administrators that are there, I have said from my very beginning, I empower you. It's okay if you make a mistake. Sometimes the best lessons are the ones where you didn't get it right, because the next time you will never do that again. And I can testify to that from experience, and I've been able to get beyond that faux pas, as it were. So administrators got raises, not 10%, but they got an 8%. And you can see the breakdown. And Mark put this on here. I didn't put this on the slide, but I will tell you what it means. Peralta is like, New York City of California community colleges, because when I left in 2013 to go over to Chabot, Las Positas, they said, Dr. Jackson, do you have any last words that you'd like to tell the board? Because I was sitting in the president's seat. And I said, well, Peralta is like New York. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And I mean that seriously, because we've had a number of people that have started here and that have gone on, myself included, to be a chancellor. Also, our recent Angelica Garcia from BCC, who's gone on to be just the fifth president superintendent at Santa Rosa Community College. And we have a lot of names. Rowena, who's down at City College in San Jose Evergreen District. So you can name them yourselves. Those people have been here, did well here, and went on to other things. So if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Okay, wow, it jumped ahead for me. So, and then last but not least, thanks to our students. We try not to put stock pictures up that we can get online, but really put pictures of our own students, because they can tell their own tale and they can speak the truth. At one of the last board meetings that we had when we were talking about student housing, I was so impressed by one student who got up. I think she graduated from Laney, and she said that I slept in my car for the last 2 years and I'm graduating, and I am proud to tell you that I did it. Those are the students that we serve. That is the reason that we are here. That's the reason that I'm here, is because of them. Because a lot of times they don't have a voice. They may be the first one in their family to ever go to college. So nobody can guide them through. It's up to us. It's up to us to do that. And we have done a magnificent job, and I hope we continue to do that. So I showed you this slide in 2021 because these are just a list of the projects, the reports, the presentations that we've done from 2020 it started at 2018 when we first went on kind of a probation. All of these things, just imagine the amount of workload that is for people to get together, for meetings, to put the reports together, to present the reports, to take them through participatory governance, then take them to the board, and then to get them out on time to the agencies like ACCJC, to FITMAT, to the civil grand jury. All of those things were pending when I got here, and we got them all in. And I am so proud to say that we are now back on track. We don't have another report to ACCJC until we do our midterm report in 2025. And hopefully that will continue the progress that we've made, because it's continuous improvement. And trust me, people are waiting to see if we're gonna fall. You know, bad news sells, as I tell people, you know, kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down, kick them when they're up, kick them all around. Sorry, I had to pull that out of my hat because that's, you know, dirty laundry for those youngsters that are out there that haven't heard that before. Was the #1 hit back when I was growing up. Our enrollment, we turned the tide on our enrollment. We had double-digit enrollments this last year. That was with intentionality. It didn't just happen. People worked on that. People looked at classes. People worked with the deans. Deans worked with the faculty, and the staff supported all of that so that we saw that downward trend. We didn't want to continue down that road. So we had to make some immediate changes. Maybe we made some faux pas and didn't include everybody, but we used the same system that was here before. And as Matt said, we're looking at trying to change that because it's important for us moving forward, because we're going to a student-centered funding formula, and that has ramifications. And we also need to make sure we capture the right data. So 11 to 12% was what we saw return. Our financial aid FitMat gave us 78, imagine, 78 recommendations. And so we had to address each of those, and we did that satisfactorily. We submitted that in 2021, December of 2021, and we haven't heard from them since. So I assume that they looked at what we did, because they do look at our board meetings, I've been told, and look at the documents that are public documents, look at our budget and all of those types of things. And we have consistently been true to our word. And then we worked on our audit. We got an unqualified audit for the last 2 years, 2021, 21, 22. We're currently in 22, 23. And I anticipate that we will also get favorable marks from that. COVID-19, we went through that. I'm not even going to go into this a lot. We started that migration starting in 2021. Just a few classes were online. Not online, face-to-face. We moved more in 2022, and in fall of 2022, we were kind of back, quote unquote, not to normal. I don't think we're ever going to go back to normal. I've said that. People don't want to hear it, but I just don't think we are. But we have started moving towards being fully engaged and being on campus 5 days a week for our students. Technology, woo, gosh. We moved from an old system where it was located. If somebody threw a firebomb over at the district office in the IT building, everything would have gone up. We wouldn't have had any history. So we moved from that to a cloud-based, and that's no easy task given a district of our size. So we are now in phase 3. Phase 1 was moving to the cloud. Phase 2 was our move to our HRM system and to our finance modules. And now we're in phase 3, which is looking at the students. That's being led by one of our colleagues who is really kind of made the full circle. And I'm so glad that she's here, Dr. Tina Vasconcellos. She doesn't know I'm gonna call her out, but I am. She is on target to eliminate over 40 manual forms. I know that in and of itself is a lot, but to say that she's going to accomplish it, and I gave her a task, which is a little aggressive. If we could get that done before the end of the fall semester, that would be great, so we can start in the spring with a whole new interface for students that makes it easier. It's difficult with CCC Apply. I know that. We're looking at that too and making some changes to our front end system. So all of that is in progress. Graduation. We started out with, shelter in place online graduation in 2021. In 2023, 2022, we kind of had a if you want to come. Merit probably went out way above everybody else, and they actually took all of the students who wanted to participate from 2020 up until 2022 and they had a formal ceremony out in the parking lot. And those students actually got their diplomas, dressed up in, their regalia, and it was fun for everybody. Berkeley City College did more of a taco, informal kind of thing that year up at Merritt. College of Alameda did a drive-through where you went around the campus and students were there, faculty and staff were lined up. And then Laney College had its gauntlet over here in the football parking lot where students came in and kind of walked the gauntlet with their families. And that was a great thing. This year, we did it all formal, traditional, walk across the stage, get your picture, talk about it, give out our awards, recognize, and it was duly appreciated from the people that I talked to when I walked around at each of the colleges during that period. So congratulations to our 2023 graduates. And these are real photos, not stock photos of our students at the different campuses. Okay, mission statement. This last year, 2021-22, we actually got a mission statement approved. Yeah, raise hands. That was a difficult task, and some of you worked on those committees. So yeah, give yourself a hand. The board was reluctant to approve it when it was first presented to them because they had no input. And so they felt like, this is our mission statement, don't just give it to us and we're supposed to sign off on it. So at our retreat, we presented it again, and Dr. Helen Benjamin walked us through the process, and within a half an hour, we had a new mission statement. I mean, who would have thought? But we do. We have a mission statement that represents a culmination of what the district feels that is its mission as a whole, as well as input, taking what was presented to it in the past. We just made a few tweaks. Redistricting, we did a whole redistricting. It's required to do that when you have a census within 10 years. So we did that. Minor changes. I think Alameda grew a little bit. That district along the estuary and up towards where we meet with Chabot Las Positas district, but not that many changes. And again, this is out on the website if you don't know anything about it. A new website. Oh my God. I want to thank John and Aaron who put that all together. And if you have never worked on a website before, you don't know how hard it is to take all of those pieces and put it together. So instead of old ugly, which is what I called it, it was old and it was ugly and it was not functional. You couldn't put it on your cell phone, it just wouldn't fit. They did all of that. And I just want to thank them for it, because not only did I think that they did a good job, but CC Pro, which is the California PR organization, gave us an award, a before and an after. So we got that. And I just want to thank them. I don't know if they're here or not. They're always in the background, but I mean, look at our website. Look how, I can't even remember how old and ugly it was, but it was. And now we've gotten it so much better. A charrette. I know a lot of people didn't know about charrette. I learned about charrettes when I was at State Center Community College District, where we reached out to our community, brought our community in and asked them, what do you want to see us do? And we broke it into 4 threads, and it's out on the webpage. Here are the 4 threads that are there. And we took that information and we wove it into our educational master plans and into our strategic plan of the district. The EMPs have been approved by the board, and in September, the board will approve its strategic educational master plan. So we looked at sustainable, healthy college housing and all of that. We looked at our strategic workforce. We looked at strengthening our partnerships, and then we also looked at our safety, campus safety. So strategic planning, like I said, all 4 colleges have done their EMPs. The board had a second read. They had a third read, kind of, sort of, if you want to call it that, at their retreat. And then it will be moving to the September. So I also want to thank West Ed. I know I put a lot of pressure on them because I had high expectations of what I wanted, and they delivered. So, and all of those of you, I gave the board a list of everybody that was listed in the educational master plan. I couldn't put everybody's name because it said academic senate, or it said student government, but to give them a flavor of how that was widespread. It wasn't something that the administrators went and sat in the back room and kibitzed over and then said, okay, this is what it's going to be. It really was something we have never done before, which is we started with the colleges. And from the colleges, that informed what the board put in its strategic plan, because the board is representative of all of us, as well as I am the only employee of the board. So when the board adopts something, it's up to me to do that. Sometimes I take hits for it, that's okay. That's what I'm here for. As they say, that's why you make the big bucks. But it really is, that's how the structure works. It is fully participatory. And I think we fail to recognize that. We pick out the onesie twosies that, we didn't do that. But on a whole, we follow our participatory governance process. There is no intent to bypass that. Do we need to strengthen it so people know what their roles are? Absolutely. So please, I hope you plan on being at the PBIM on September 1st. There'll be more information going out on that. But we actually are going to look at some specific things on that. One of them is brainstorming on some ideas that we've come up with. We developed the tri-chair model. Again, that came from listening sessions from classified professionals in the district classified senate, who said, none of the ideas that we want ever make it to the committees, Dr. Jackson. I said, well, why don't we look at making it tri-chair? And we actually did it. The PGC adopted it, moved forward with it. And there may be one committee or two committees that don't have a tri-chair right now, but all of the district-wide committees are tri-chairs with representation from our classified professionals, our faculty, and an administrator who pulls the meetings together, coordinates it, gets the minutes out, gets the agenda, and all of that other kind of stuff. We also developed a district-wide holistic wellness committee to deal with safety. They have a workshop coming up this afternoon at 3 o'clock. I know that's late in the day, but if you are still around, I think it would be worth your while to go to that. They're going to talk about some of the things that they've been doing, because people think, is it safe now? Is my catalytic converter going to get stolen? Are they going to knock my windows out? Are they going to vandalize my office? Or so he's going to talk about some of those things, and I think we've made substantial progress. Again, Friday, September 1st, PBIM, and we will be having breakout sessions, but we will also be talking about some very tangible things that we need to do. We used to use it as goal setting, but we really want to get down into the weeds a bit at this next one, right, Matthew? Return to campus. I've gotten a lot of questions about this. What is our policy on return to campus? The policy has not changed. It's just that we're not putting people out to enforce it and have people show their cards, or we just couldn't afford to do that. Her funds are gone away, and we were using her funds to do that. And we were the Johnny come lately. I did a survey of Bay 10 colleges, and we were one of the last to be asking people to go through some kind of screening. And we never had, and we still haven't had any outbreaks of that of COVID starting on campus. People have had it from meeting with family or visiting or whatever, but we've been below the 1% that Alameda County says is there. So faculty, and let me do the first one first, faculty may require masks in the classroom if that requirement was in their syllabus. So if you put it in your syllabus that you have the option to do that, yes, you can. That's your classroom. Employees with personal office spaces can require visitors to put on a mask when they're in those spaces. So that is a policy that's from Alameda County. That's also from the feds. That's also from the state. So we are all the way down from the federal government to the state to the local Alameda County following that. And last one, because someone asked me, I think Matthew brought it to me, is Dr. J, they're still coming out on the rosters. And then we're in the process of removing those from the rosters. So you should see that hopefully soon, since classes start next week. Let's see, how am I doing on, oh, I gotta get going. Okay, let me go to the next one because here, I wanna do it like this. A fiscal overview. I'm not gonna go a lot into this. Dr. Jones did a very detailed presentation to the board at his last meeting on June the 27th. It was videotaped, so you can go and look at it yourself. I'm just gonna do highlights. Our projected expenses exceed our projected revenues, and I will show you that in a little bit. And the reason behind that are what I call these drivers. OPEB bond payments, other post-employment benefits, that's for people that are retired. We have two tiers. We have people that retired before 2024. Those individuals get lifetime benefits. And then those people that were hired after 2024, like me in August of 2024, when I first came here, I do not get lifetime benefits. So it's a different tier and those costs still have to be paid. 2004, what did I say? Oh, 2004. Thank you for correcting me. 2004. I came here in August of 2004 and they said, oh, JJ, you just missed out. I was like, what? Missed out on what? And I was like, oh yeah, that probably would be nice now that I'm older and having some issues with legs. PERS and STIRS have gone up. STIRS is projected to go up again to almost 26%. And we pay that difference. So that is also a driver. Our property insurance has gone up, as you can tell by some of the incidents that have been happening. And then we also have bad debt. Bad debt is when we issue financial aid checks without the authority from a lot of it, not all of it, but probably 85%, 90% of it is from that, where students are, we figure out you should get $1,500. But when you get your check, it's $15,000. That's a real world example, folks. That is not a made up. You go and try to get $15,000 from a student who's probably never had that much money in their life. It ain't gonna happen. So we bite the bullet and it becomes bad debt that we've got to pay back to DOE for our mistakes. So we're making changes in that area. The people that are on the task force, all of your financial aid directors have been working every week to address those concerns so that we don't go back and keep doing that. You know, the first thing when you find yourself in the hole is stop digging. So we're trying to stop digging and hold firm to issuing checks that have been approved by the Department of Ed. And sometimes that causes a bit of consternation because people have promised people, you're gonna get your check on da, 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 da. But we haven't got validation that that date is going to actually happen. So we're starting to manage expectations and tell people we're gonna shoot for that date, but you know, it may not make it. We got some savings. We thought it was gonna be about 3.5 million to go into the general fund because we went to a new system. We missed the deadline date. The deadline date was October of last year. We didn't approve it and get it into their system until January, but we went retroactive and paid everybody to July 1. So that money had to come from somewhere. CURF revenues are gonna go away. They gave us one more year. We were able to do a lot of things. For example, fall is free, spring is free, and fall is free again based upon HERF funds, but there aren't gonna be HERF funds. And then we had the 5-year decline in enrollment. And changes in the student-centered funding formula have happened. They have now established a floor, whereas before they called it, you know, the cliff because nobody knew what was gonna be there. But with a lot of advocacy from everyone, all constituents groups, we do have a floor, a new funding floor, but we're still not at the floor. We're still below where the floor is. This just gives you, and I'm not gonna go into this, at the top of the screen, the blue line is where we've been funded. for FTES, and the bottom line is what we've actually had. And you can see there's been a bit of an uptick in this last year, and then the numbers are below. But all of this will be available for you to review at your leisure. And these are taken from the state reports, not our BI tool. So when you do your comparison, compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, because they're not the same. Okay, let me jump. Signed budget. This is the one that I was talking about in terms of some of the things. So the end of HH is hold harmless, 24-25. We looked at the floor and where we are. The floor is that bottom line that's flat, because until we reach the goals that are established under SCIF, we will not be able to get any of those additional funds. So our costs are going to continue to go up because people want their step and column increase. STRS, like I told you, is going to continue to go up. PERS is kind of balanced out right now. And then all these other things that you can't account for have some bearing on our budget. And our budget, we're held to having a balanced budget. Let me say that again, because people think somehow we do it because we like to cut. We are held to by state regulations, as well as the state chancellor's office, as well as the state legislature and the governor's office are held to putting forward a balanced budget. We've already submitted a tentative budget. We're doing a closeout now, so we'll see where we land on that. And then we go in September and present a final budget to the board. Taking into account all of these things that are over here, the skip matrices, the cost of living increases, no future COLA unless we meet those, and 24-25. So that is one of the reasons that we're going to be focusing on budget, so people understand that, because I think a lot of it is misunderstandings. So what are the key issues? Fundamental economics. We got rising costs and we've got flat revenues. So eventually that's going to keep getting wider. That gap is going to get wider. So we've got to do something about it now. What I told the deans, we had a deans meeting earlier this week with the deans of all the campuses, the vice presidents, the presidents, key people at the district office. And we had a 3-hour retreat to talk about brainstorming ideas that we've been coming up with. Some of you may have been a part of that, maybe you weren't. And then we came up with some prioritizations of those, and we're going to talk about that at the PBIM. That's one of the things that we want to do, because we need to hear your feedback. Maybe we missed something. You may have an idea nobody ever thought of. So we're saying, look outside the box, but at least we give you something to let you know what we talked about. I did take this to the board because I wanted some guidance from them on that, because there's some contentious things that are on that list. One of them was, are we looking at selling land to make up the deficit? The board said, nope, we're not going to do that. Okay, so take that off your list, or people have been saying that's what we're going to do. Nah, the board has given us guidance they don't want. Consolidation of classes, curriculum, yes, that is a possibility. But we've been doing that all along, but we may have to do it to a higher degree coming up. So those are going to be the types of things that we're going to talk about. Just the budget. This is what the budget, this is what we got. They call it TCR, total computational revenue. That's what the state calls it, because it looks at 3 different scenarios and then it gives us the money based upon the highest one. The one that we presented to the board was the $147 million. But you can see on the next slide, our projected expenses are $166 million. So we've got to make up that deficit. We've been doing it on the backs of not hiring people, freezing positions, but you can't keep doing that. That's kind of a temporary. We have to do some more structural changes to address that. And I don't ever want to go back. So the path forward. All of these things are options. We have not decided on anything. We haven't said we're going to do this on the backs of faculty, although you may hear that. That's not true. We've looked at a lot. We have about 20 to 25, maybe more than that, because we whittled it down some of things that we want to look at and focused on. And then, like I said, it was not done in a room with the blinds closed and the lights off, with just a little lamp and people sitting around with stubby pencils. This is broad-based input from all of the administration. And we also want to bring it to you, but I don't like to bring a blank slate. I like to bring things so people can either say, yay, that sounds good, or no, that doesn't sound good, or have you thought about this or about that? You go to blank slate and that's what you got, a blank slate. So looking at exploring options for enrollment growth. We have a trip coming up right now for China. I will tell you, if you are going to countries outside the United States, it's not as easy as you think. But we're going there because they are launching 33 new courses and they want us to be there when they launch this new partnership. And we, thanks to Tomas Gill in the international office, we got a contract for over $1 million. So you make those kinds of contracts and they'll provide those kinds of services that come in, and international money stays with the district. And I say that some goes to the colleges to pay for things, pay for the faculty that are teaching. Some goes to the district to do other things on international, but basically it stays within the general fund, even though it's categorized as international. So we could use some of those funds if we needed to or wanted to, or got the inducement to do it. So these are all the things that we're looking at, not just one item. District updates, fall is free. Everybody knows that. It's the last of the money for HERF. So you can see some of the things that we've done. We've gotten individuals from the news media that have contacted us. And because we've gotten such positive press, and because people have seen our enrollment change, guess what? Chabot Las Positas now has fall is free. Skyline College across the way has fall is free. So we're not the only ones out there now, folks. You know, we had our window of opportunity. But I want to say when that's the best form of compliment is when people copy what you do. I got 5 minutes, so let me get going. Sorry, Mark. Department of General Service. This is BC Hoff is here and has already hit the ground running. Thank you, BC, wherever you are. He's probably out there working. I was over at the district office this morning. They're working on the roof. They cleaned the windows. I could see the windows at Laney College. So I'm going to show you, hopefully, if it works, some things that we're doing. And thanks to HPLE, because they kind of took the lead on this. So let me see if I can do this, guys. So I'm just going to show you what you're going to get. Come on, please work. Okay, how come it's not showing me? I wanted to bring this into, let me try to do it a different way. I knew that might happen. So let me get over to, I think it's this one. Come on, get over there. Okay. So this is our 90-day project list. Each of the colleges is going to get something like this. And oh, you're not seeing it? Let me stop share. I did an embedded link within my PowerPoint. And when you do that, sometimes you don't always. And now let me do share screen again. And let's see if I can do it this way. Do it the hard way. Okay, so there it is. So I asked IVC Smith to give me two. I showed you, well, you didn't see it, but there's one that breaks it out by campus. And then this is a one of the completed projects. And I just want to give you a sense of some of the things that they've been doing. These are a composite. It's based upon the location, what the item was, what the repairs were. There's also, when it started, can you guys, okay, you can't see it. So let me just go over to the side so you can see some of the dates of when it was done. And then I'll scroll down. And I just want to point your attention to this right here. There's been 108 projects on the list that have been completed across the board. So, and those, I say this just to put it into context. Those items didn't all happen in 2021 when I came on board and when IBC Smith took over. But we've been working diligently. People say, well, you know, you sit over at the district, you're not here where it's hot. You're right. But trust me, it was hot this year. I'm hot right now. I'm sweaty. So yeah, it does make a difference. I recognize that. So we're trying to make sure that we address those. And this list, as well as the one for each of the campuses so that the campus can see, will be going out. I'm not sure when. I know I've got a temporary, but I think they're going to try to fine tune it a little bit. And then IBC Smith said she's available to meet with the campuses to actually go over that list. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that that's something that has had a high priority, but it didn't all happen in a year. So it's not gonna all happen within this year. And so let me try to go back to my PowerPoint. If I can find it, there it is. And share that. And then I'm gonna finish up with this. I just showed you that one. I'm gonna show you in the presentation, if I can get up here, slideshow. Current slide. And I'm gonna finish this real quick. So you will see this, each campus will see it, and we have the composite list. Our bond, last year, we got $150 million bond sale. Here are the things that are happening across the district, in case you didn't know. I know BCC knows that now the site for Milvia has been razed to the ground, I've been told. So there is no old building there anymore. They may have the last remnants, but that's gonna be their site. Groundbreaking at College of Alameda for their Technology Center, Transportation Technology Center, Merritt College CDC. And then we also had the citizens oversight for the bond that approved for the last 2 years, that we are spending our money according to what the bond says we are. And they're meeting every month now. They were meeting once a quarter. So, and then our public safety, like I said, marine and security, I have seen 100% improvement now that Director Thomas came on board. They've had training in all of these areas. And in fact, they've had to use it. The first aid, there was an individual who passed here at Laney, and they acted appropriately, but they were not able to bring him back. So we also have emergency communications upgrade. I'm gonna go through this. Chancellor Search. So if you haven't gone out and looked at the webpage, please do. Applications have closed. I've been told that we have enough applicants to start moving forward. The committee, which is made up of community members, board members, our bargaining unit members, administration, and is chaired by President Dave Johnson. We'll be meeting shortly to start doing the screening process, as you can see. And then in September, October, depending on how many candidates we have to move forward, we will be having our open forum. So please stay tuned to that. We'll be getting you more information out. But the good thing is at least we have enough people to go forward, and quality people that are looking at going forward. So questions? I know I went almost to the end of my time. I'm sorry, but I started late. Question? You want to come up here, Mark? You can use mine. Here, use this one. Turn that one off.
It's already on. Chancellor, we had a couple of questions that came in through the Q&A. One was a question about student financial aid and the recent meetings we had with the federal financial aid people.
Okay.
And another question was about student debt and writing it off and what we're doing to prevent that.
Okay, so those two go hand in hand. For those of you that don't know, when it rains, it pours. So we had a 28-day notice from the Department of Ed that they were going to come in and do a full program review. The financial aid directors got hot on the track They did their reviews. We provided the information to them, uploading it. Everything is uploaded nowadays. There's no hand paper with the Department of Ed. And we got some recommendations back from them. We've been working on those recommendations. Your financial aid directors can give you an update specifically about that. But when we get ready to submit our report, we'll look at doing a forum to talk about financial aid. But financial aid is a tricky thing. The Department of Ed, if they find that we don't have the proper processes and procedures in place, can revoke our ability to provide financial aid. That would be a death knell for this district, because most of our students qualify for financial aid, federal financial aid, not just state financial aid. So what we've done is all out full press, excuse me, full press by Ken Lira at the district office, working with the financial aid directors at each of the campuses, meet every week. And then they have subcommittee meetings. And I see some of you nodding your head because you've been a part of that, so that we don't go back into digging that hole that we have to dig ourselves out of. That's the bottom line, the quick and dirty answer. So the vice presidents of student services have been involved in that. Deans have been involved in that. Our classified professional staff at the campuses have been involved in that. And part of the problem is we have multiple, I won't say multiple, but we have differing procedures of how we process financial aid. And we've got to come up with a single procedure so that we don't have this disconnect between campuses, between campus and the district, between the district and Department of Education. So you'll get more information in detail on that. We're still looking at it. We got some recommendations from them, and we'll be including that in the discussion as we move forward. So, okay, thank you, everyone.